As we noted earlier, one reason, but not the only reason, for studying environmental science is to help our family, community, country, or planet be sustainable, or to attain the goal of sustainable development. From your textbook, you learned that sustainable development can be defined as the ability to meet humanity's current needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. This very important definition is based on a definition originally stated in the Brundtland Report, which was prepared in 1987 by the United Nations World Commission of Environment and Development. That commission was led by the World Health Organization Director Gro Harlem Brundtland. If you are interested in viewing that report, it is available at the United Nations website. The Commission noted that globally, development needed to be sustainable. It needed to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. In essence, they were stating that the benefits of sustainable development must be available to all humans, not just those of a privileged group or a privileged time. There's no privileged country, race, region, or generation. This is powerful. Can you think of ways that our actions adversely affect future generations? Or how our actions may affect people in other parts of the country or other regions of the world? Will there be fish and forests for the future? Do communities downstream have safe water and/or enough water? We don't burn coal in California. It's too dirty. We don't want to breathe that air. But we import electricity produced by coal. Who breathes that bad air for us? Where are all the high-tech metals in our cell phones and computers mined? What are the environmental and social costs being paid by people in those countries so that we can have our cell phones? These are all questions that drive home the point that for our society to truly operate in a sustainable manner, there is no privileged group and no privileged time. Clearly, achieving environmental sustainability is essential for the long-term survival of humans. But can science alone ensure a sustainable future? Again, here's where we see the need for an interdisciplinary approach. For example, the climate science is clear. Scientists understand the primary cause for human-induced climate change. Has that changed the way people and governments act? In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. Unfortunately, science alone cannot ensure a sustainable future. Interestingly, for 30 years, since the Brundtland Report, we've been taught that there are three components to sustainable development, namely ecological sustainability, economic sustainability, and social equity. Some people paraphrase this as people, planet, and profits. And this Venn diagram is one common way the model is displayed. You see the three components, and then sustainability is where all three meet. True sustainable development exists only when all three components are managed sustainably. For example, that means we are not protecting the environment while causing suffering for people, or economic disasters. All three components are important. Your book refers to the triple bottom line, as the authors remind us to consider not only the environment, but also the social and economic causes and consequences. This graphic here on the right was one that was included in the previous edition of your textbook. Visually, it's a bit different, but it displays the same concept as that Venn diagram. This general three-part model seems to make sense, and I taught it for years as well. However, recently, in March of 2013, David Griggs and 9 co-authors proposed an updated model in a commentary article in the scientific journal Nature. Notably, Nature is one of the 2 most influential peer-reviewed scientific journals in the world. The authors contend that the 3 components are not really equal, and thus they should not be drawn as such. The environment does not depend on society or economics. Rather, society is only able to survive due to the planet's resources, and the economic systems are simply something that serves societies. Check out their new model. This new model shakes things up a bit. I encourage you to enlarge your screen to see it better, and pause the video to study it a bit, noticing that the three main components of the earlier model are still present. So pause right now and check it out. Notice that economy is within society, and society is within the Earth's life support system. Clearly it shows the importance of the Earth system. What do you think? The same authors also proposed that the United Nations consider a new definition of sustainable development. Development that meets the needs of the present while safeguarding Earth's life support system on which the welfare of current and future generations depend. This definition clearly states the importance of the environment or the Earth system as being more important, perhaps, than society and economies. This model also includes 6 Sustainable Development Goals: thriving lives and livelihoods, sustainable food security, sustainable water security, universal clean energy, healthy and productive ecosystems, and governments for sustainable societies. Take a moment to really study both the old model and the new model, and how the 3 components of sustainability are related. Which do you think is a better model for sustainability, and why? And what role do the 6 goals play in the second model? Before we get too much further, I want to mention 2 overarching themes of our class. The themes are not doom and gloom, though this is how some environmental sciences courses end up being taught. Notably, this is not how I approach the class. Creating a sustainable world may seem daunting. Indeed, one excuse for inaction is often that the problem seems too large and complex to solve. Please purge that thought from your mind. Here are 2 alternative overarching themes that I hope are pervasive throughout the semester. The first is that environmental issues and solutions offer opportunities. It's not all gloom and doom. For example, consider our rocky shift from fossil fuels to renewables. There are amazing opportunities related to new jobs, new technologies, new entrepreneurial opportunities. In California alone, there are currently more clean energy jobs than all the coal jobs in the entire country. And that's just California. As we continue the shift from fossil fuels to renewables, there will continue to be more opportunities. This switch to renewables has also resulted in money-saving opportunities. For example, solar power is expensive to install, but it actually pays for itself and saves the user money over time. This is why at Kenyatta College we were able to install solar panels that power about half of our school. Additionally, environmental issues can also lead to community building, networking, and more. Keep your eyes open for opportunities. Next, your actions do make a difference. I love the quote by esteemed anthropologist Margaret Mead. Never underestimate the power of a small group of committed people to change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that ever has. All great social movements and environmental movements have started small. Be part of it. Join local groups. Get involved. You'll find it empowering. Also, do your part individually. Little changes, adopted by the masses, produce huge results. As an example of how little things do matter, consider toilet paper. I assume everyone uses it, so it's relevant to us all. Have you ever thought about where it comes from? Trees, of course. Considering its use, though, do we really need to be cutting down virgin forests to make a product that's used, well, to wipe our butts? Also, consider the other resources that are used and polluted during paper production. An immense amount of water and energy is used to make paper. Furthermore, since we seem to like white toilet paper, a whole lot of chlorine, which is very toxic, is used to bleach the paper. Chlorine is dangerous for workers at the paper plants, and it's potentially dangerous to local river ecosystems as well. Okay, so am I asking you to stop using toilet paper? Obviously not. But instead, consider your options. consider buying recycled toilet paper products. There are many products out there. One brand is called Seventh Generation. On their toilet paper rolls, they note, if every household in the U.S. replaced just one single roll of 500 sheet virgin fiber bathroom tissue with our 100% recycled product, we could save 295,000 trees. Note that that is one roll, not one 4-pack per household, not one roll per week or one roll per month, but one roll ever. Just imagine the impacts on our nation's forests if families bought 2 rolls or switched over permanently to recycled toilet paper. There are similar benefits in terms of water use and landfill space too, as virgin pulp paper processing takes more water and produces more waste than recycled pulp processing. Toilet paper is just one simple example. Clearly, as consumers, we vote every day with the products we choose to buy. Be aware and educate yourself so that your purchases reflect your values. Seventh Generation is just one brand of home paper and cleaning products. Notably, there are many recycled content toilet papers on the market, and I encourage you to find one that you like, preferably created with 100% post-consumer recycled material. Incidentally, the Seventh Generation brand of paper and cleaning products gets its name from a famous Native American quote attributed to the law of the Iroquois Confederacy. If you have not heard of the Iroquois Confederacy, I encourage you to do a bit of research. The Confederation consisted of 5 and later 6 Native American tribes that lived across what is now Upper New York State, and it began in the mid-16th century. Their ideas about democracy, the rights of individuals, the public good, and the form of government influenced the founding fathers of the United States, and some would argue that it is apparent in our Constitution. This quote appears on all Seventh Generation products, and the company incorporates it into their mission statement. In our every deliberation, we must consider the impact of our decisions on the next 7 generations. Wow! 7 generations? We are often concerned about our kids and our grandkids, but this culture was concerned about their kids' 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 kids. Jeez. Most of us can't trace our family tree back 7 generations, let alone think that far into the future. Clearly, this is all about sustainability, which the Iroquois seem to understand and value.